News 25 is brought to you by Golden Casino Group, where you'll always find great fun, good food, and fantastic entertainment, all at Gold Town, Lakeside, and the Pahrump Nugget. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Law enforcement is asking for the public's help to catch a burglar, and a structure fire that killed one person is deemed undetermined. News 25 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 25 with Eunette Gentry. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell. News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Criminals attempt to find buried treasure on Binion land. It's Thursday, April 11th. I'm Eunette Gentry. The Binion property is being targeted by would-be thieves.
The Binion property and the late gaming mogul's fortune are back in the news. News 25 started looking into a legal battle concerning the Binion family trust a number of weeks ago. The property, owned by Ed and Shelley Calderon, have since called police stating that they had a break-in at the location. The Nye County Sheriff's Office sent us the requested information about the incident. It appears, according to deputies, that a man who was arrested in 2017 for trespassing, 56-year-old Richard Cleves, is wanted again. Cleves used to work at the ranch on the property located at 700 East Wilson Road here in Pahrump. They say that this individual was filmed by surveillance cameras breaking into the historic home and allegedly digging holes in the yard in an attempt to find buried treasure. Police say that Cleves told them in 2017 that there was millions buried on the property. Police are also looking for at least 2 other suspects that were taped by surveillance cameras on the property with shovels in their hands. The Nye County Sheriff's Office is asking the public for any help to locate the suspects. According to the sheriff's report, the property manager showed police several dug holes in the yard and a broken brick smoker barbecue. In recent weeks, the ranch has been excavating themselves. Work has begun and now ceased, taking down salt cedars and stacking them up in the back of the property. A person who was a previous reporter for the Pahrump Valley Times, Dan Weeks, said that he is an agent for the new owners, Ed and Shelley Calderon. Weeks told us that the county asked them to remove the salt cedars. The county said that they asked them to cut back the salt cedars that infringed on another property adjacent to this that had 2 fires recently. Weeks told News 25 that the Calderons are having the main house evaluated to see if it is structurally sound. The plan is to possibly tear down the home and several outbuildings on this location. The property originally sold for $1 million in 2016 to Ralph and Betty McKnight. The McKnights were friends with the Binion family. They have no children of their own, but took care of a child who is now an adult named John Cantu since he was 11 years old. He was the main recipient of the McKnights' assets. The fortune, which includes many properties, is estimated to be about $65 million, according to sources. In 2017, the will was changed and the property quitclaimed to the Calderons, who established several nonprofit entities such as Trinity Life Foundation and Oakmont West, LLC. Shelley Calderon, previously Shelley Highland, who started Shelter Insurance Company out here in Pahrump, abruptly shut the insurance company doors on Highway 372 a couple of years ago. Ralph McKnight died in 2017. His wife, Betty McKnight, has Alzheimer's and is in a nursing home, according to John Cantu. Cantu told News 25 that he received nothing from his adoptive family after the contested will with what Cantu says is a forged signature went to court. Cantu sent News 25 a copy of the signature expert's evaluation, which concurs that the document is forged. A meeting with Shelley Calderon was canceled by County Commissioner Deborah Strickland, who told News 25 that the new owners who took over the property don't want any story or publicity about the break-ins. Weeks told News 25 that the Calderons are in danger and their lives are threatened.
Gambling executive Ted Binion was the son of casino owner Benny Binion. Ted died more than 20 years ago in Las Vegas of a heroin overdose, which some think is suspicious. Binion's body was located at his Las Vegas home back in 1998, and his girlfriend, Sandra Murphy, and her boyfriend, Rick Tabish, were arrested for murder. Tabish helped Binion at one point construct a vault on the property behind Smith's where Binion hid money and coins worth millions of dollars. Tabish was a contractor and was caught with 2 other men by NCSO deputies 2 days after Binion's death, breaking into that vault. The couple was later acquitted of murder, but Tabish is still serving time for the theft of Binion's silver. And the fire that killed 82-year-old John Carver is ruled undetermined. The senior's body was located after fire crews extinguished a fully engulfed trailer on Appaloosa Lane.
The Nye County Sheriff's Office has released the cause of death for a fire that occurred on October 10th of last year on Appaloosa Lane. A friend of KPVM, John Carver, passed away as a result of this fire. On the night in question, Pahrump Valley firefighters and Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to a trailer that was on fire at this location. Inside the home, police found a deceased individual. The Sheriff's Office now says that John Carver died of smoke inhalation and thermal injury. They say that there was no direct evidence that the fire was started by smoking materials, accelerant, or anything that would suspect foul play. However, there is strong indications that this may be a smoking-related fire.
Well, there's good news and bad news when it comes to taxes and interest rates. All that and more news when News 25 returns.
You're watching KPVM News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, the feds are not lowering rates, but you might be getting more tax credits. Angela Miles reports on that and more in today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, the latest word from the Fed is rates are likely to remain unchanged, although if the economy improves, the Fed is open to hikes. There's no sign, though, of lower rates. The government is handing out $1 billion in contracts for the removal and replacement of fencing along 2 sections of the U.S. and Mexico border. 46 miles of fencing will be installed near Columbus, New Mexico, and 11 miles near Yuma, Arizona, to deny illegal entry. On Capitol Hill, lawmakers are prepping a bill that would expand the federal tax credit for Americans who buy electric cars. Tesla and GM's tax credits were cut this year. Big bankers are promising to improve the stability of the U.S. financial system. The leaders of 7 of the largest banks were grilled on Capitol Hill Wednesday. The CEOs tell lawmakers the banks have raised capital, are more diverse, and stronger than before the financial crisis.
Thanks so much, Angela. Well, the huge volunteer workforce called the Valley Electric Ambassador Program, once headed up by the late Cassandra Selbach, is no more. We caught up with interim CEO of VEA, Richard Peck, to find out why that decision was made.
The Ambassador Program was started about a decade ago and by former manager Tom Kustad, and it literally has involved a program of a lot of great benefits, but predominantly the Ambassador Program is out of the 2 districts, 1 and 6 here in Pahrump. So there's very little minority or very little input from the other districts. So again, it's so important to get the entire organization directly involved with the directors. And I would add, there was no connecting link really between a board member and the ambassadors. Ambassadors were kind of out there in their own area, doing their own thing and then coming back. That's most unusual in a cooperative program, because literally a board will set up policies and their committee will in fact be a chairperson with membership involved. Now that's what I proposed to the board, 4 committees that literally has a board chair, vice chair, but the majority of the people on the committee are member owners. One with the finance committee, there will be 6 members, 1 from each district. And again, the policy committee, there will be basically 4 from each, 2 from each district. And the member liaison committee, which is going to take up a lot of the function of the Ambassador Program, will have 4 individuals from each district, so a membership of 24. But the board is a direct connection with all the committees so that there's input from the membership and input from the board, and that's what the ambassador program really did not have. There was program cost. I don't know the direct cost, but on a quarterly basis, we always got the ambassadors together and had a meeting so that we could discuss a lot of the different issues. So there were a lot of both direct and indirect costs of supporting the ambassador program. And like any good program, we're going to have costs associated with a new committee structure. Minimum is going to be transportation costs to and from the various districts. There wasn't a direct connecting link between the board and the ambassadors, so that the ambassadors were kind of like out there doing their own thing, which is unfortunate because the board should have had total control over any committee structure or any of the ambassador programs, but that did not exist. Basically, I put a policy to the board, and the board said we're going to discuss it and take a look at it and approve it on the 25th of April. And again, the ambassador program would come to an end on June 1st.
And following the annual meeting with Valley Electric Association coming up on April 27th at Pahrump Valley High School, there will be a special meeting held. VEA says it's to inform the public about the bylaws concerning removing and replacing the co-op's board after the group, VEA Members for Change, began a petition to hold a special meeting to vote on that item. The members for Change joined together after the newly implemented rate increases and the arrest of VEA CEO Angela Evans. They say they have met their obligation of 10% members' signatures to call the meeting.
Basically, the members as a whole, yesterday, and I will tell you, I got the petition in yesterday, and it had about 15 charges, predominantly around what the fiduciary responsibility as they define what the board should be doing. Again, we're going to be sharing with the board, with the membership, what we see as a fiduciary responsibility as defined under normal business practices. Also, what the group does not understand is that we have a very unique system that here is your annual meetings are held at the district level, not at the annual meeting level or special level. It's, as far as I can see, there's no way that you can remove 6 trustees at large. You cannot do that. You can go ahead and call for a special district meeting and recall, like, for example, I'm going to use the numbers. Fish Lake's got about 600 members. If there were 60 members come together up there, they wanted to recall that trustee, they could do that. But you cannot have one single petition recalling all 6 board members. And unfortunately, the folks in town don't realize that everything is uniquely done within the district and not done at the annual meeting or at a special meeting. So you have to have a special meeting in each of the 6 districts to recall the trustees. There's no way that we can conduct a special meeting on the 20th. They did not give us the information in the timeline that made that sense. Right now, what the board is doing is turn the issue over to the attorney, and we're going through and verifying all the existing names on the current petition. And I will say the petition they turned in yesterday is different than the original petition signed by a lot of members. So it, to me, is that's a challenge in itself. We expect to get back Friday at the latest, but if we have to, it may take us till Monday to verify that what signatures are in the course of action the board is going to take. But again, I will point out that it's the member's right to recall a board member, but they must understand how they must do it, and unfortunately at this stage of the game it looks like they don't quite clearly understand. That's why the special meeting to talk about the fiduciary responsibility and also to talk about the bylaws and the uniqueness of the 6 districts that Valley Electric has.
And tomorrow on News 25, we'll hear from Ken Johnson with the VEA Members for Change group and their response. And stay tuned. We'll be right back here at KPVM, where we like to say that stands for keeping Pahrump and our area viewers in mind.
News 25 is brought to you by Bill and Robin Law, injury attorneys. Injured, need money? Get Bill and Robin, your local Pahrump injury attorneys.
Welcome back. Nye County Treasurer John Prudhomme discussed the progress he says his office is making since he took that position in January.
A changeover in November of 2017 resulted in many misunderstandings in the Nye County Treasurer's office. Right now, the Nye County Treasurer is working on reconciling these mistakes.
And all of that takes a lot of time, especially considering that when Kim Lara originally retired, that a lot of the things that she had been doing, people tried to keep up with it, but they weren't able to. So some of the receipting, we're having to go through and recreate receipts for things that we're not able to find receipts for. And I wish I could give you a better timeline, but every single month that we've been running into, there are huge problems. Another example is the sweep account. That was set up, and looking back at it, I'm sure that when it was set up by Pam Webster and continued by Jennifer Perry, that they looked at it and said, these are solving certain problems. The unfortunate thing is that it's law of unintended consequences. You fix one thing and then it causes 20 other problems. And in this situation, the problems are not with the bank statements. The problems are with being able to put together a bank reconciliation that makes any kind of sense based on where money was going back and forth between the accounts. So Kim and Lara is doing an incredible job working together with Stacy over at Dan MacArthur's office, and they are still working on trying to come up with a solution for how to put that onto the report and how to reconcile those almost constant transfers that happen throughout the day to multiple accounts.
Currently, John is also working on cross-training.
So part of what Kim is doing is throughout the day, as different things are happening in the office, she is giving us her best practices, and then we're able to implement those best practices. And in some situations, she'll see things that don't really make sense from her perspective, and then we'll be able to sit down and talk with her and find out why she did things a certain way and why that might make more sense than the ways that people have tried to come up with solutions to getting through problems.
Thank you.
More roads will continue to be improved in our area because the Nevada Department of Transportation has given Nye County a grant for road work in Amargosa, Gabbs, Beatty, Round Mountain, and Tonopah.
To adopt, amend, and adopt, or reject Nye County Resolution 2019-15, a resolution authorizing the submittal of a proposal of proposals with the Nevada Department of Transportation for grants through U.S. Federal Transit Administration as authorized under federal transit law and funds available from the Nevada Public Transportation Grant Program, and executing a contract with the Nevada Department of Transportation upon grant proposal acceptance. Nye County match is not required.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Adopt resolution.
I have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Further discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, a question. I guess we don't have staff to answer it. Who would answer this question for me? Would this have been applicable down in Pahrump for senior? Go ahead.
No, the Nye County Senior Nutrition Program are for county senior nutrition programs, which is Gabbs, Tonopah, and Amargosa and Beatty. Pahrump Senior Center chose to remove themselves from the county program.
Didn't know that.
10 years ago.
I just wanted to clarify. I needed clarification because I was being told that it was a little different and that they could have done this, that, and the other thing, and I just needed clarification there. And for the record, Pahrump is within Nye County, and we represent the entire county.
We do, but they chose not to participate.
Oh, no, I understand that. That's why I asked the question, so it's on the record. Thank you.
Further discussion? Public comment? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Unanimous.
News 46 Weather Cam is brought to you by Glenn Lerner Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
All right, it's time to take a look outside at our current conditions through our Glenn Lerner weather cam. It's a beautiful day outside, but we do see heavy cloud shelves over the mountains surrounding Pahrump. And the winds are still whipping a bit. Michael Donahue will tell us what we can expect in our forecast when we return.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donahue with today's temperatures. In Las Vegas, we had a high of 71, a low of 54. In Death Valley, a high of 80, a low of 60. 68.47 in Amargosa. 64.43 in Beatty. 53.33 in Goldfield. A high of 49, a low of 30 in Tonopah. 51.33 in Carson City. In Fallon, 53.36. And in Fernley, 53.33. Today in Pahrump, mostly cloudy skies, a high of 67 degrees, winds coming out the north-northwest at 8 miles per hour, humidity at 20%, and our sunrise at 6:16 a.m. For tonight, it's currently 65 degrees outside with partly cloudy skies. Our low tonight will be 48 degrees, winds coming out the north at 8 miles per hour, humidity at 41%, and 7:14 p.m. for our sunset. Looking ahead to our 7-day, we do still have a lot of clouds hanging out, but we are expecting some sunny skies this Saturday and next Wednesday. Temperature-wise, we're mainly just going to see those mid-70s all week long with the exception of Friday, where we're going to be at 69, and Sunday and Thursday both at 80. For overnights, on Friday we're seeing a low of 47 degrees, and then on Saturday all through next Thursday, we're just going to be floating around in the 50-degree range. So if you can't make it home in time to catch the news live on TV, make sure to check out our Facebook page. You can catch the news live every night at 5 p.m. there, as well as get any other news and updates. So now we're going to throw it back to the desk with Jose.
Thanks, Maxine. I'm Eunette Gentry, and that does it for this edition of News 25. Thanks for joining us. Good night.